an a walkthrough rather, of our Blackboard course. So for the first week or so, it will open onto this Getting Started page. You can read through there. It's just giving you some basic information about me. On this page, you also have links to the syllabus, the course entry quiz, and your course resources. So the first thing you should do is download the syllabus. That's the one we just went through, so hopefully you've already watched that video of me going through it and talking about it. Next, you need to take the course entry quiz. This quiz is very simple. It's very straightforward. It just has basic questions about, where do you go for online courses? How do you see your grades? Those kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. It's very straightforward. It does not actually count towards your grade itself. But it is necessary to track attendance. So once you have submitted that grade, once you've gotten over 80% on it, you'll be able to see the other information. But this is kind of after you've watched these videos, after you've taken, download the syllabus, take this course entry quiz, and you'll get access to the lecture and lab material. But from getting started, let's see, we did that. Announcements, these are going to be your weekly announcements. So real quick, this very first one, here is your class. So if your course begins May 16th and ends on July 12th, the course entry quiz deadline is May 18th. So be aware of that. Make sure you get the quiz in before midnight on the 18th. You'll see these announcements every week. They'll post Monday at midnight. It just gives you kind of an introduction about what you need to be looking at this week. Maybe a little, sometimes it's a little post from me, a little like lift you up, a little pick me up, words of encouragement. And then I try to just do something about, hey, with this week, be careful, look at this, make sure you're paying attention to that in this topic because it can get tricky. And then I give you the tasks, everything that you need to do for that first week. There's also task lists. So for every week you can click and you can download this document and it will give you just a Word document of task lists of the things that you need to do. So again, it's just multiple ways of seeing this information. You can look at my basic faculty information, just some stuff about me. Again, once you've taken the course entry quiz and gotten over an 80% on that, then you will be able to see this lecture folder. The first one will already be available to you, the How to Be Successful in A&P. It is overwhelming when you first look at it because it has a lot of resources, a lot of videos, a lot of text in here. However, if you are struggling with how to study, with how to take notes, with how to manage your time, that is a skill you have to develop. It's not something that can just be done and just, oh yeah, this is just how it works. So it does require an effort. It does require you learning how to, what works best for you. Right? A lot of people are going to talk about learning styles and being a kinesthetic learner, an audio learner, a visual learner. That may be true that you like to, you have a preference for how you receive information, but you can also learn to receive information and understand it from any source. That is part of learning how to study and learning how to learn. It is necessary to learn how to learn in this kind of class. So make sure you go through these if you're having trouble organizing or trying to figure out how to get through some of this material. I don't provide notes for you. I teach off of slides and you will have to take notes from them. So yeah, you're gonna have to learn how to take your own notes. If you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to make an outline, that's all necessary. Yeah, active reading, learning how to actually read a science textbook is very tough. It's actually not that hard. It just takes the skills. You just need to know the tips to how to do it, right? So make sure you go through that if you're struggling with managing material in this class. If you reach out to me about your grade and needing some tips, the first thing I'm going to ask you is if you went through this folder and what things you have tried. I'm going to ask you to show me your notes. I'm going to ask you to show me your study outlines. I'm going to ask you to bring me those things. Every week, though, you'll see the week open. It'll be chapters, 2 chapters usually per week, sometimes 1, sometimes no more than 1, though. They're all going to have the worksheets. There's an extra credit worksheet. Oh, this is not supposed to be in here, so ignore that. I was wondering where that went to. That is not supposed to be in there. You won't see that. And there'll be a quiz. The quiz isn't posted on here yet, but there's going to be a worksheet, extra credit worksheet, and quizzes. This is your homework. This is what you're required to submit every Thursday. The extra credit worksheets are going to be on the night of the exam. Those are due midnight on the night of the exam. There's a submission link that will open once we get closer to the exam. Similar with lab, you have the week 1. It'll be divided up into each of these. Again, there's no content in here right now, but you'll be able to see lab pages that will be posted in here, as well as the recordings. So any of the video recordings that I do for lecture or lab will be in the appropriate Blackboard folder once they've been processed. You'll be able to access any practicals and assessments will be given through Blackboard too. So even if they are proctored in a different way, you'll click through Blackboard to get to them. They'll be in these week folders. There's a discussion board link for course questions. So if there's just something that you're not sure about, you want to ask just kind of the general class, you can do that. If you want a specific response from me, send me an email. If you post it on here, I'll probably see it, but it may take me a little bit longer to get to it, and anybody will be able to see it. So if you want a specific response from me, a private response, email. If you're okay just asking anyone and getting another student to answer your question, which I encourage you to. You have a lot of smart classmates that are on top of stuff, and they'll be able to get to you faster than I can. All right, course resources, just a few things in here. So you have your syllabus, you have your lab manual. This is a Word file. So this is a Word document with all of the lab pages that you'll have. In the individual lab weeks, I will post PDFs of the individual labs for that week. Okay, so you have the whole thing here. You can just download if you want to, or you can wait and just access it week by week. This learning objectives document is a really helpful document. A lot of people don't like looking through it just because it let me bring it into here, because it can be a little overwhelming as you're going through it. But it has everything that you need to know for this class. So we start with the endocrine system, describe the major functions of the endocrine system. Okay, can you do that? Do you know how to do that? All of these can be short answer questions. I do a lot of short answer and essay questions on my quizzes and tests. And the learning objectives document is a great way to make sure that you're not missing anything as you're studying. It's always that, well, am I studying enough? Am I focusing on the right thing? What do I need to be focusing on? You can go through this document and just one item at a time, just check or highlight or whatever it may be, red, yellow, green. Red, ooh, no, I don't know this at all. Yellow, yeah, I kind of know it, but I don't, maybe I could learn a little bit better. And green is, yes, I got that, no problem. Don't spend too much time studying the green stuff. Just review it, refresh it once we get closer to the assessment. But this is a really nice document for helping you to organize all the things that you need to know, and keep track of your study habits. Keep track of your studying. All right, and then the task list. So these will be, like I said, posted with every announcement each week. But just to show you what it looks like, it'll have the dates. It'll have what you need to do, different stuff. I think you can. Oh no, you can't. But if you print these out, you can kind of mark on them. I think you might be able to through some editing. Anyway, just the basic stuff you have to do, the homework that you need to get done, and the assessments that might be coming up. So multiple ways for you to see the same thing that's on here, the same thing that's going to be in these announcement pages right in there. It's just shown a little bit different. There's the resources. There's some basic tools for you to use if you want to send a message or look at your calendar. You can check your grades. Here are your My Grades section. So right now you can just see the worksheets that are posted, but this will be where all of your grades are. It'll have the score here, and then if I've left comments, there will be a little speech bubble right beside it. I highly recommend for your quizzes, especially for your quizzes, I try to give feedback about this is why you did not get full credit. So it's very recommended that you read those comments and review the results, so that way you can improve. And lastly, you have this student support link. This will take you to an external website. It is Blackboard's Wake Tech support site. Yeah. So you have 24/7 access to Blackboard support. I am not a technical support person. You already pay for this. You pay for it through Blackboard. They have 24/7 support. Same thing with Connect. So if there's some kind of issue with technical issue, talk to them first. Don't waste your time emailing me, because I will just tell you to email Blackboard. Okay. All right. Let's see. One more thing that I wanted to do, and oh yeah, we can go through here. So your website, your Connect website. So to get to that, you have to go through these folders. So you go to week 1, you go to chapter 17, and then you click on this homework folder, because this will take you to Connect. It'll tell you that it's launching McGraw-Hill. You're leaving Wake Tech's Blackboard service. That's fine. You can launch it. And it will take you to our course, Bio 169, Summer 2022, Section 0003. I'm filling this a couple of days early, so registration isn't open, but it will open on the 16th. You can go to connect. It may take me straight there. Yeah, so I already have my account. If you don't, then it may ask you to make an account. Make sure you use your WakeTech email address. Don't use anything else, because then it will not properly link to Blackboard and your grades will not sync over. I'll have to do it manually, and it's very frustrating for me to do that. Okay, but this is how you register and link to Connect. You don't want to go through, don't go to Connect's website and try to search for our class. You have to go from Blackboard to that, through this Blackboard link to get to it. Otherwise, it won't properly sync the two classes. Okay, just to show us what that looks like, I'm going to hop into our Connect website. Yours is going to look like this. Okay, so ignore all the other stuff before. But imagine basically when you go to Connect, this is your Connect homepage. This is our Connect course homepage. So we have two websites that we use. We use Blackboard and we use Connect. Okay, so Connect is going to have, it's your textbook website, right? So you have the menu over to the side, has you with all of your stuff. It might have your classes that you're teaching or that you're in right here, right? It has calendar for any due dates for stuff. Right over here on this left-hand side, there's different course materials you can look at. There's the textbook. So this read is your textbook. This right here, this resources, Anatomy and Physiology Revealed, this is going to be super important for you. Okay, so the first time you click on this, if you've never used it before, it will give you a pop-up about wanting to put in a code or doing all of this. Just kind of keep clicking cancel, okay, it just click through it. And it will eventually get you to this. It'll ask you, about course code, just hit no, and go right into it. You can select different modules, right? So it has all the modules from 168 and 169. We're starting with the endocrine system, right? Across the top, it has different tools. So you have dissection. This one is the 3D model. This is a practice atlas. These are animations. This is histology. So with these, like histology, looking at the tissue slides, you can select an endocrine gland and we'll show it to you, right? You can highlight different structures. So the blue is the highlighted portion, right? And when we go to do lab, this is essentially what I use for your lab quizzes and your lab practicals. So you'll see that, these structures are the ones that you'll have to learn, not all of them, but the ones in your lab manual specifically. And what I can do is I can come in here and I can do exactly what I just did. I went to endocrine module, I went to the pituitary gland, and then I found the infundibulum, this little blue part right here. Then I can click on this little camera, and it pops up this image, and I can just drag and drop this image into a PowerPoint or into what we'll be doing, a Blackboard quiz, a Blackboard test, and say, identify the highlighted area. It will not be multiple choice. You will be expected to fill in the blank, and that's all that it'll be. It'll just be this highlighted area, and you tell me what it is. And I can do that with all of the structures that we have. All of these over and over again. There's different views for different things, right? So I can ask about all these different processes, all these different stuff. So when it comes to using APR, get familiar with it. Get comfortable with it. Get used to going through these different modules. Right, so that's just the histology. If we wanted to look at the actual dissection of the organs, we can do that too, right? So I can click on these different areas within the brain, and you would have to tell me, oh yeah, it's that. That little highlighted thing is the pituitary gland. So a great way to study is when you're going through these, just drag and drop images and make your own PowerPoints. Make your own study PowerPoints. That's a great way to study. There are also these videos that can be very helpful. Every module has a different set of videos. This will help for lecture as well, because when we talk about receptors and G proteins, hormonal communication, target cell responses, all that different stuff is lecture related. So this will help you with that, those topics as well. Okay. You'll see that you have your worksheets and things will show up here in the assignments. It is currently locked. When you click on it, it will tell you the start and due dates for it, how many attempts you have left, and how many points you could possibly get. You do get 3 attempts with all of your worksheets, even though none of them are dropped. Rather, the highest grade within these 3 attempts is what will count, right? And that is pretty much Connect. That's pretty much what we'll use it for, is just the worksheets, your textbook over here, and then APR. It's Anatomy and Physiology Revealed. I call it APR all the time. That's what I say for short. All right, that should take care of your Connect and Blackboard overview. If you have questions specifically, reach out to me.